There we go. We're so back. Good morning, the egos. Good morning, old man diabetes. Good morning, Metal Deer. Good morning, Hickory Bellingham. Who up a Zirkin they zoing? That's so true. I have to mute the cough. We're so back. Oh yeah, we were talking to these guys, waiting for the pigs to show up.
Man, what's on your mind? Dead body, spirit entered. What is there to talk of? The mass murderer? Why? Okay. Odd to say, man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced.
Video games are so back.
I did get to talk to the crab man though.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us.
Huh. His mother's love stuff isn't too spooky.
Have you been listening to what Egg's been saying? Love is hardcore, man. And the mother's love is the hardest core of all. The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church.
Huh.
I've got a lot to learn from him.
A man from Hemadal. Good morning, Dr. Gun. Good morning, Cat Tag.
Good thing you didn't squash him. The crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus. Not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical. Encasement, confinement of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. I think that's what the crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it to contain it.
The Phasmid? Nah, the swallow.
I don't know, and it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this sonar person is looking for and trying to measure.
Yeah. I think you have the right Jones side. Jonesidon? Yeah. Explains everything. Good morning, Jones Sidon. Good morning, Dr. Hidaka. Good morning, Sneaky B Dude. Welcome to a little bit of Disco Elysium.
It'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't.
Oh, like an Eidolon?
The wood creaks as a gale goes by. Outside, dust particles fall through the darkness, settling down on the age-bleached floorboards. The structure does not feel particularly durable.
Huh. Having a disco time. You're a little ahead of me. I feel like I'm right near the end. About to hit the point of no return. How's your disco playthrough going?
No, it's pretty fucking unsound if you ask me. They should have built a club for anodic music around it instead. Anodic music will definitely contain whatever we're dealing with.
It sure is going.
And if it can't,
Okay.
well, seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance.
Huh.
Like a concentric ring spreading out. The struggling villages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already got my like 3% and 8% roll successes like early on in the playthrough, so now like, yeah, I'm getting the failures now.
And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure has gone down around here. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's not a thing we can answer, Copman. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person.
Wild inverse
Maybe you
luck.
can figure things out, Copman. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well. Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced. It's short for
I'm
paranoid.
gonna inject 00. What good is being suspicious?
A reasonable question. Say I get hurt. I want to make sure it never happens again.
This guy's
So I analyse
badass.
the situation. Exercise caution. Caution is suspicion. It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
Kinda sad I didn't get the dance check.
This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm.
Oh, I thought he was talking about left-handed, right hand. I was like, oh, this is some good stuff. The soft spot for the grooving pains. Anyways, I gotta decide on sleep tight. Don't let the bed pigs bite. Don't let the pigs wheat you. I don't know.
Something is off here. You feel like it should be the other way around.
No, politics is an inert complex of daily corruption and inane think pieces. The real paradigm is economic, and it concerns pig and wheat. This is where the innovation happens. It's only a theory, but I suspect they're breeding a pig-wheat hybrid. Probably in Grad.
Mean you're mentally ill.
Mental illness is a term the powers use to homogenise people. I think I don't reach mental illness. I am merely politically ill. A suspicious element.
Hold on.
It's our only shit. We should make better use of not being animals or cereal grain ourselves.
Animals are cute. Yeah.
Nothing. Animals are cool, guys. I like animals too, but that doesn't mean I have to be one myself.
Good morning, name to duty, and good morning, Scissors Man Dan. Yeah, no, I
prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any
too late.
spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray, far from our true lives, but we may yet find a way back.
This guy's a bit annoyed.
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology. His eyes flicker.
A life is true if it's free from fear, an internal division among oneself. In others, mankind has seeds of greatness in it. A germinal will come, a return to trueness. It will be hardcore.
Huh.
Beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods. Nerve impulses for the collective body. We are very much alike in basic structure. An hard enough beat would awaken everyone to a truer calling. In unity.
Yeah, he just needs he just wants more base.
Just like that. The speed freak is right in your face. His eyes burning. His comrades look on worriedly. The young man is dead serious about this. Rejection of the right-left axis. Emphasis on unity. Appreciation of some primordial mode of being. What does that remind you of?
Thank you, Encyclopedia.
Nationalism, militarism, racism, and emphasis on a leader character are totally absent in hardcore.
The Seaman Retention Society. So true.
He picks up a wrench and scratches his head with it, unaroused by fascism.
Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat in their art. Thus, they are closer to true hardcore life. There's just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely
Aroused. Seaman Retention Society, hardcore.
Lord of the Western Plain. It is really happening right here. The migrants are contaminating our youth.
No, don't.
utmost dedication. Thoughts from the spinal cord. It's a potent superlative as well.
He's like racist without trying to be.
The term also signifies certain varieties of pornography that depict penetration, just so you know.
And not when at the pornography as a thing or getting the XP, but that too, you know what?
A better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore. Hardcore!
You know what? Now we have to.
That's a pretty hardcore coincidence, don't you think? Yeah! Oh yeah, sure thing.
You know what?
They're hardcore.
Look like a woman with earrings.
You know what I think? I think man, woman, and child are arbitrary divisions which serve to bind humanity to serfdom.
That's it?
They're just clothes.
What?
It's just a style, you know, normal hard style. Anyone can wear it.
Like bag, doing bag to make the brush bigger. Oh yeah. Maybe I should listen to Half-Light more. What flavor was that again?
No, man. What's on?
Conceptualization. Alright. How bad could it be? Oh, there we go. I don't remember if we had anything else that even gave a bonus to it. I think there were glasses. Maybe not. Yeah.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Aggressive.
Ah, fuck
monotonous, but also somehow sacred, primitive, yet futuristic, like a machine, man. Nothing exists but the here and now. All are one purpose. All you've managed is a list. The parts form a whole.
Oh, I could just do it. I don't want to dance though. I don't know if we're working on one knowledge right now. Oh wait, thought cabinet, whatever. One thought. I don't think that's gonna give us a higher funny bonus. Damn. Well, it'll be funny. Actually, no, I'm gonna save my points. Alright, let's get suited up again. Like me some drama. There we go. I talked to everyone here now, I think.
Oh, hey, man. It's good to goodbye.
Alright.
Welcome back.
Yes, what is it?
I still don't have a radio. Fuck.
Good morning! Yeah! Harder car!
God bless Egghead.
The mother of humanism stands above you. Why? That does seem to be a problem. The mother of humanism.
Oh, beans. Anyways. Video games are so back. We already did this. Good morning, Renvato. Who loves Zirconizer? You too, huh? Based. Find a Ruby. Not about that. I didn't get the mixtape I wanted. I guess I could hand them the Tour Gunner Mega Mix. I gotta wait a day. We never got to do this, I don't think. Like, I mean, I talked to Joyce, but there's no dialogue option to continue that bit. I don't know. Not my fault. Those guys are still chilling. Pics of artists logging in after decades of being inactive to post porn of the Dragon Quest III priestess. That's that outfit, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Based. Did I say good morning earlier, Cat? I did. I totally did. I'm going crazy.
You're back. Good. What can I... Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect.
Oh, what the fuck?
Have you discovered? Yes. And... will you start an official investigation?
Oh, okay. Fine.
She's trying to conceal her excitement. But
I've done this earlier.
Green eyes tells you otherwise.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest.
Are you
Now it's
kidding me?
my turn.
Just because the dialogue option was grayed out, so I didn't think it was... It's been like 3-4 in-game days, like 2 real-life weeks.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Whoops.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I
Alright.
have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Solid snake mode of conversation. A momentary lapse of faith.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
This is not disco. You've made a mess. Yeah, let's blame her.
It was the Union who strung him from that tree. My hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before Crenel indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Seraï's giant hornet,
Oh.
the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
It's hip.
These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Maybe a good bloodletting is just what Martinez needs.
Thanks, Half-Light.
Houses drenched in red, blood gushing down Rue de Saint-Cispar. The whole place mopped with a giant red rag. Fresh bullet holes for all the old buildings.
I have to mute the cough. I love coughing. It's my favorite activity.
It will not be a pretty sight.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like this.
Stop being sick.
Lieutenant W. Frater Dubois. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesu,
All native?
Chinese islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. I wouldn't go as far as to use that term, Detective.
I dropped a slur.
It's the expression she objects to.
Yes.
She picked a strange hill to die on. Strike.
Okay, rhetoric.
She's silent.
What is the purpose of this, Detective?
No, let's drill her on it. Why not?
Paramilitary death squad is a bit rich. But yes, were it up to me, I would have at least vetted them more thoroughly. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could.
Oh, yeah.
It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell. I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. The remaining contractors, their tribunal, it's what they believe. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice. But she had sympathy for this man.
You liked him.
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills. Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner.
I have no idea who the woman
Paul
is.
is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
That's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. And Classier also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then you'll have to.
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're likely to be armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
You should show those meatheads exactly how savage you really are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Yeah.
One is
I didn't fail.
the scab leader
Yeah.
at Harbor Gates. The one
think
chanting
fuck.
the idiotic slogans, he's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Oh, I was in that apartment building, that one room that I can't get to?
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is upon their
A
care.
straw.
Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start? Truthfully,
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Well, shit.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
Yeah, there we
For
go.
about half a minute in silence.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
It's nice having this much empathy.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
The soul is fastened inside his corpse. I've spoken to him. Yeah, let's just terrify the poor woman.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this, Revachol. Those are the two constants, Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
In Martinez looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter. Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy.
Ah.
The Seminoles Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revachol, he was executed.
This man is no brother of mine.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tough,
Oh.
it could be beneficial. Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Oh? A takeover?
Yeah, sure.
It.
Green livery, changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Then we're talking about a war. Everett needs to let me into the harbor at once. We need to talk about this. An insane goal. Cronell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship. The one after that, 100.
Huh.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Cronell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do? Everything affects the decision-making process,
Oh, shit.
Detective.
No, they have semi-automatic weapons. I don't think Disco even has automatic. Do they?
Officer?
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
I wish there was a disco option. Oh, they do have full auto shit. We want a Manhera.
I'm afraid we won't disco our way out of this one.
It's really not the RCM's job to make these decisions.
Of course. Your job is to clean up after them. And it looks like there will be a lot of cleaning to be done in the near future.
And good morning, Costello. Yippee.
What will I do? Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our reality lowdown? It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years.
Dog spotted. Yeah, I think. Ah, whatever.
The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds. It was anything but normal. There was no precedent. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry.
Wait, what?
Called Volta Doma, or Return from the Sea.
The 8th expedition returned, sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counselor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor. There are rain circles on water all around. Humidity crawls up your back like a piano trill. So does the lieutenant. His mouth is slightly open. As
Doing the meme.
to the
Doing the
sky.
bit with Goku holds his mouth open. In the rain, it's real.
The droplets feel warm, like spring rain.
Stupid.
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, Lancielinde, Lancielinde, the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
You've thought it a million times.
Yeah, the world, the pale the world again.
Shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Elysium. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen.
What good world building.
4 years later, the Queen's Counselor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high. On Caillou, the Pebble, the largest of the fertile, uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later, the first living, autonomous organism. Proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune. The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae. Or they discovered us. All in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there. Wipe out indigenous populations. Gunboat economies. Or they came to do the same for us. Or had done to each other. But here, there was no one but the skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain, revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism. I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
What happens will happen. The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez, if you handle the situation on the ground. Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
Forget about that. What was that about the age of capital only beginning? You need to talk with this lady.
I'm glad talking politics is the result of a failure.
In short, Harry, we will revoke the pigment standard. Your money will no longer need to be black like chitin, and there will be so much more of it. I know. Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Cronell's investigation?
A confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties. Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane. I know, because I, too, am insane. I just hide my illness better. And no, Detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing. And I've got it bad.
Like capitalism.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
Nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp.
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola. The Volta Domar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
You could use a little of it yourself.
Yeah, fuck it.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
Didn't get the reserve.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. With worry in his eyes, he does not know if it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't say anything. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
I haven't got my gun back yet. I want to try this out. Oh yeah, we haven't finished this either. No beans. Wish I could have taken our radio. Well, I'll hold on to the skill points for now. I got all these nice books to read.
The cover of this tattered paperback features the man from Yelmdar, standing atop a pile of bloody corpses. His two Zweihanders are crossed over his massive chest in a dramatic X, their blades dripping with gore.
Oh yeah, is there anything else that I want to drop? Rendezvous is too good. I need White Morning. Oh, that's nice. Need that. Ace is high. No way I'm taking that off. Date of birth generators, interesting. More physique stuff is pretty nice. +3 stats is pretty nice. +1 psyche is really nice. +1 Inland Empire is decent. I might take this off, honestly. I'm going Gerwick. Thank you, God, for not making me attracted to feet. So true. Yeah, sure. Wonder if it's any good. Hell yeah.
Rise the harsh, snow-capped peaks of his native Northlands. In bold
Oh god, what?
The title, Hjelmdalar Man, the man from Hjelmdal, unfurls like a banner. In the foreground, a nearly nude woman lies spread in supplication, her privates strategically covered by her flowing black hair.
Hold on, you're right. Hold on. Oh no.
These images speak to something burbling deep within you. The primal
Oh, hell yeah.
bunch of violent apes just duking it out. The back blurb reads, His latest adventure serves as the perfect introduction to the savage Heimdall saga. Meet Man from Heimdall, his
He's so
faithful
badass.
brother, Tyribald, the noble Lord Hrothgar, and some of their most fearsome foes yet, for the Northlands, for Heimdall. Below, in smaller font, you see the parenthetical, adapted from Man from Heimdall and the Necromancer's Treasure. Man from Heimdall, Lord of Hrothgar, and Man from Heimdall, the Curse of Nacht-Hera. The story opens in media res. The man from Heimdall and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels of an ancient temple, surrounded by an army of gibbering wights, led by the deathless necromancer. One by one, the brave Northmen fall to the relentless crush of undead, only to join their number as reanimated corpses.
Just like the man from Heimdall.
By nightfall, only the man from Heimdall and his blood brother, noble Tyribald, are left standing against the dead horde. It is an honor to die by your side, brother, Tyribald cries, as his battle axe beheads one of their reanimated comrades.
This is badass. Good morning, Sticky Peanut.
9, Tyribald. The man from Heimdall bellows over the army of flesh and bone. Have courage. For the Northlands. For Heimdall. He leaps to the mezzanine to face the black-eyed figure, and like a mad ice bear, whirling twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, he plows through the ranks of the deathless, surrounding the necromancer. And with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. The undead legions collapse like ragdolls as the dark magic leaves them, and the two Northmen stand alone in their cursed temple, where the bodies of their lost brothers litter the floors. A few chapters later, the man from Heimdall and Tyribald are in a completely different setting, high above an arid desert, riding a pair of griffins that always seem to appear at narratively convenient moments. This book makes a mockery of the very idea of good plotting, though something tells you coherence was never the point. The Northmen find themselves in the court of a powerful southern king, Lord Hrothgar. The old king beseeches the man from Heimdall to rid his kingdom of the Nacht-Hera, a subterranean clan of blind wizards who traded their souls for demonic powers. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless desert pygmies exiled in the kingdom's borderlands. Hrothgar offers the hand of his eldest daughter instead, but the son of winter does not budge. What do you mean?
Why is he doing all of this?
Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest. Because, above all, he's driven to bring honor to the name of his beloved Heimdall. Because his noble Cutlan blood lusts for glory and conquest. It cannot be denied. What do you mean? Is that all? He is the man from Heimdall.
It's John Heimdall.
In the fury of battle,
Harry Heimdall.
was his sire, and blood is dam. He had but 14 winters when he left his frigid homelands in Cutla to seek glory and honor. That is his character. He doesn't even have a real name. What is inside this man? Or is muscle and bone all he is? Hey, nothing wrong with muscle and bone. The point is, why should you care about this character? Does he have any inner conflicts? Unspoken motivation? A tragic flaw, perhaps? He is the wildest man alive. The only mortal strong enough to wield the twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, whose names mean storm and... What are you, a book critic?
I'm a goddamn art cop.
Enough. You're ruining the pacing of the story. Now where did you leave off? What pacing? You skip past a section detailing an elaborate banquet with many toasts, as well as the long and perilous journey from Hrothgar's keep to the ancient forest of Yesdar, where our heroes infiltrate the Nacht-Hera's dire hall. In the center of the great hall stands a blood altar on which a pair of Nacht-Hera are disemboweling a shrieking peasant, an unholy rite that empowers the Nactera forbidden magic. As the vile ceremony ends, the sound of steel unsheathing draws the Nactera's attention to a pair of cloaked figures standing in the doorway. This is what you came for, isn't it? A climatic bloodletting where men are reduced to muscle and fury. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel.
What is
The
that?
man
What's
from
that?
Yondal and his valiant blood brother, Tyribald.
I didn't see that coming.
In an instant, the Nactera summon a horde of gibbering orcanoids who rush our heroes. The hall fills with the clang of blades and the screams of the dying as the floor goes slick with steaming orcanoid viscera. Oh, for fuck's sake. When the din of battle settles, only the man from Hyomdal and Tyribald remain standing. Exhausted and dripping with the entrails of their foes, the two Northmen confront the foul Nactera. The man from Hyomdal's soda-like blue eyes fill with indescribable fury. For the Northlands, he cries, rushing headlong into a desperate melee.
Yeah.
He probably is, but you can't be sure, because this one ends in a cliffhanger and a footnote saying, "To be continued, Hyomdalaman at the gates of tomorrow. Coming soon to your local bookstore." Considering the sheer amount of different Hyomdalaman books out there, it's very unlikely you're ever gonna find the sequel. The man from Hyomdal stares at you on the cover, his face fixed in great
Badass. Super worth it. That's probably a good one to read, but also
Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols.
I think one Shibboleth's high art. Absolutely.
Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the Pale. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book. You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts based on the results of clinical trials, readers will find assembled here the timeless wisdom relied upon by generations of like medicine practitioners, Mesk mystics, and Ilmaran
Love stretching.
doctors. It's all quackery, in other words.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It seems to contain descriptions of the
I love
medicinal
encyclopedia.
properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the Pale, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies.
But yeah, no, I'm waiting for my gun. I'm supposed to be here at 22.
There are a number of Seolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition. What you're describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that. There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions,
I can wait a little
I'm
bit.
convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. Want to give it a shot? First, you need to choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add? The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxins. The sugar
Just tea,
makes
yeah.
it taste better.
I'm good morning, Colicus.
The very thought of this tea causes your muscles to relax and your mind to clear. You're more present and in control than you were a moment ago. A tingle rushes down your spine, and you feel your toes uncurl. If only it could always be like this.
Damn. Kinda wanna read the other book, but we got stuff to do.
Regular law official. You've done it, Harry. Whatever else you are,
I bought
you're
those
also
books.
boring now. It was not easy. You spent most of your life trying to funk up every nook and cranny of your personality. When someone says something political, the first three thoughts in your head are a ludicrous hodgepodge of communism, fascism, and stock tips. When they ask you why you did something,
Oh yeah.
it's superstardom. Apocalypse, or the mea culpas of the flagellant cop monk. It's not easy reaching for the fourth option, the normal one, but you have. And now, you're not just crazy, you're also boring.
All learning caps raised to 3. Oh my god, that's actually what I'm looking for. Hey! Now we can get that tape. If only I got this earlier, then we could have gotten the oh shit. First 3 thoughts. What do you mean? Yeah, you can swap it out later too. I don't know if I'm gonna have that much XP left in the game. Yeah, back here. Surely this couldn't go wrong. Flagella. Like flagella, like the anatomy part for like going to Amiibo. Now I know what the pigs looks like. I think it's gonna be hard to miss her. Wherever she is.
The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You still can't see a phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
Really not quite sure where the fish market is. Huh.
A few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner, dead. No phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
Oh, please. Yeah, after this, we just have talking to the scab leaders, maybe trying some checks again, and then we just do it.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
You're friend with Megamook. I'll slash his gremlin inventory in half if he tries to sneak another redeem while Mimp is testing. What's Smoke doing?
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow.
What's going on, man?
Staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small layer of white salt from the sea.
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small.
Yeah, what is a gremlin inventory? He didn't mess anything up, but he's evil.
Well enough, actually. It's not how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Oh, yippee! Oh, there she is.
Put your hands where I can see them.
The only woman more schizophrenic than Harry the War. I'm gonna win Eric though. Did I ever get that check? I can do it again now.
pegs. Show me your hands. Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
I don't think we're supposed to start the conversation this close to her.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
This is bad. Getting your weapon back is the priority. We can't have an unhinged civilian running around with a gun.
Comply, or I will light you the fuck up! The man appears to be pulling out an object from his pocket. Fear under threat! Fear under threat! Superseding event. Split-second decision. Get on the ground! Get on the goddamn ground! Get on the ground! I want you on the pavement right now! This is the pigs! Subject yourself to a full body cavity search. Prohibited materials concealed in nostrils, ears, mouth, navel, urethra, foreskin, vagina, and rectum.
In her mind, the cavity search is happening. As long as she's saying it. It appears the things she says are very real to her.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
You'll have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do.
It's the goddamn police, shitbag! Hug the pavement! You're under arrest!
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine or drugs?
Oh yeah, what else does this do? Yeah, -1 Shivers and Inland Empire. It's still at 4, it's still at 6. That's all.
Magnesium, Dramamine, maybe even speed. My God, she has speed on her. What else?
Confiscated contraband! Restricted access! 2 kilos missing! Eyewitness report compromised!
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
I've got drugs, I could get him to her.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect at large! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Away, Lieutenant!
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key! Big red key!
Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Status unconfirmed!
You know who I am, everybody knows, wink! I'm here to back you up. No, yeah, give her the facts.
No. I thought Mr. Moran... Gareth! Aggravated assault! Man down! Officers in pursuit!
Huh.
What's the situation, officer?
Law enforcement compromised! Impersonating a police officer!
Huh.
Does she not believe you two are actually police officers?
E.
License and registration! License and registration! Come in, dispatch! Sector! Sector! Azimuth!
It's not a code, just disjointed words. She's losing it. One twitch and there will be blood.
We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing a firearm at us. Your firearm. You need to solve this.
Well, nothing to do.
She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening if you just move fast enough. If not, the lieutenant's got her in his sights.
It is a good wing wage of Pinnacle, yeah, sleep based. Yeah.
Host almighty, don't count on that. You saw the Binoclad can't shoot for shit. Sure, you're you, but how do we end this? She's not just gonna let you leave.
Huh. I don't think the gun's even loaded.
Suicide by cop. Split-second decision. Eat lead, scumbag.
God, I almost blew her head off.
What is this?
Yeah.
This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
She looks devastated. Grab the gun right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
That's 100% mobility, Barry. Oh, my gun doesn't have any bullets. I
She's
can't
in a
do
stupor.
anything.
I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8, and loneliness. Could be. Her hands were trembling, and she did seem coordinated. But what are we gonna do with her? I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family.
I think we could leave her like this. No.
Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, cause it's late and they might have already gone home. But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? Being left alone? She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and fleshes now. Maybe if you search her once more. Guillaume Le Million. Bad news. Guillaume Le Million did not become a cop. In 38, he went on a tour to the Sinyao province in Safre, where he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. His body was found hanging from a decorative dragon tree in his junior suite, amid drug paraphernalia, unwholesome objects, and the Sylvia Trainer single, Wonderland, skipping in the background. And yes, you can take this as a metaphor for Revachol in the 30s, and also as a warning.
Good way to go. I don't think so. More psych. This one. Pain threshold. Okay. Let's just stat up. Cool. This one sounds fascinating. This one probably just gives volition. I wonder. I don't want to use any more skill points. Well, what are we looking at? Go to Hardy. The scab leader to talk to. We can do some more white checks. We still haven't finished taking on no responsibility. Still stuck with 9mm. They haven't invented bigger bullets. The European. Oh yeah, we could do it.
The Copper NATO is back. What do you want? What's that, Copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping tribal civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it? God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this. I think she got some family in Kurong or something. Bastards left her alone when she got sick. We've been getting complaints.
Hey, wasn't Everard's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, Pig? You're fucking with me. Your gun. She had your fucking gun?
Sure did, boss.
Oh, yeah.
Loud and clear. The pig's lost his gun.
Why would I admit it? Funny.
Well, at least I can see you got it back. If you have any questions. Auntie LaPlante, we always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
Be anything else you wanted to know?
I should have gone for Marianne Amigo LaPointe. Damn.
Was like before. Just an old lady. Her kids moved away years ago. Never come to visit. Never took her calls. She gets out every now and then. She did right by lots of us when we were kids. Always was a little off. But still.
Playing at the boring cop. Yeah, I'm boring.
As kids, that must have been ages ago. She was better then.
How are you supposed to milk toast?
The children kept her together.
Get wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
Respectable. What, milking toast?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig? No, I didn't. Because I'm not fucking stupid, Polizonte.
Yeah, Carl. That's some pretty fucking weird shit to say. The pigs level weird. But whatever gets you through the day. Dunno. She lives by the water. Shit washes up all the time on the beach.
Same way you milk almonds. Oh, being upfront and honest. Yeah.
This paraphernalia doesn't just wash up on the coast, people. It's not like we dump it at night. She bought it, collected it.
The best route is fixing Harry.
Station 41. A man carries a crate of rusted, unused badges. You think these would net us something at the annual auction? A balding detective drags a comb futilely across his head. Shit, who'd want those? Just dump them into the river.
No problem, old cop man. We take care of our mentally ill here in Martinez. Ain't that right, boys?
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on these streets.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Shitpost can be fun. Yeah, I wonder what Apocalypse Cop Harry looks
Let
like.
them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident. Ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home. I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
Red eggs can stop a couple bullets.
That was an unsure phrasing.
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal. Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
He's really prepped himself up for this. He has to keep the fear in check.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
We're not bees. We're men. We're socialists.
He doesn't get it.
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What are you trying to do? Scare my men? So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You out there. Seen any around?
Bullets go right through ghosts.
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals. Special forces, as you said. They're not a gang or a barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. Don't forget, we're listening in on their communications. Their shit is way apart. What do you mean, okay?
Huh. Yeah, sure.
Just try not to get in the way when the whoop-ass flies open.
I think he meant a can of whoop-ass. Beneath the whoop-assery, it's clear that he appreciates all the help he can get.
That's werewolves. Werewolves what?
Tremble. The time is now. Taola. Time for the show.
Cool.
For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream. Ulogu theodos, xino zausin, ipoli osithien, echondes fronisin. Monday morning, the moment you arrived in this reality, are the first crack in the sheer face of God from you will spread.
I love water.
Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Telecarnassus. Items.
Some of it got in my lungs.
Even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself. It's totally also a coping mechanism. So you should be. The world island crumbles at your feet, and in the far plain, Palindropos. Perhaps, just a thought, this has something to do with the hangover. The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing. We all become vapor.
So true.
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
Alright, what checks do we have left? Interfacing at the Hawthorne tree. He's dead. Interfacing at the punch clock / payphone. Composure here. Gary's gone. That's about it. If I can, I mean, we'll figure out why he's gay. That it?
That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has
Okay.
you slouched. The magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels and not the high alcohol levels. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream. You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already, and the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. 1 stroke? Don't be so modest. He's having one right now.
I think I'm good.
Hi,
Anti-drug cop.
Bye-bye, gendarme. Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Now we're doing it.
Hi again, gendarme.
Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? Yes, this man is definitely one of the homos. I've seen them homos with my own eyes.
Yeah.
This sexual thing seems interesting. Ask around. Become involved. Just pointing it out. We're not talking about some kind of cult with members here. You made it up.
I have to know.
The homosexual underground? Why, yes, I am, officer. Why? Do you want to investigate?
Yeah, I want to hear more.
Oh, it's a pleasure group. A Sub Rosa pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of night. Saturday night. Sometimes even Friday night. Or Thursday night. Sometimes the congregating doesn't even end. It carries on into our daily life. Oh, we're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning. The last things people in Revachol have to hold on to. The true symbols of security. The meaning of man and woman, mother and father. Their marriage.
It's the sports.
Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities just spinning around, surreal and unreal. You won't even know who you are anymore.
No one's done it. Okay.
But do you also like the razzle-dazzle of gold? Do you like parties and discos and having fun under the vibrant lights of Saturday night? Because instead of the traditional family unit, we're going to have all this razzmatazz. And mysteries, of course, too. Mysteries of sexual nature, very esoteric. And disco music and drugs. You can't just get into it. You have to be born into it. One is either already in the homosexual movement or forever excluded from it.
I can't remember.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Who knows, maybe you were homosexual in the past. Maybe all of that has been repressed. I have to say that you do look like someone who might be part of the underground. You have that very distinctive, I can't understand what's going on here look. Do think about it, officer.
24-hour mind project.
Absolutely wonderful.
A man like you can figure out his sexuality in a working day. It won't be 20 hours unless you want to enter the heightened realms of the phantasme erotique afterwards. It may be 20 hours or more, but that would be on your own time.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Eight hours. Radical cell conspiring against the state, perhaps even against man and woman. What's going on? Who are these secretive people? Are you one of them? I don't even know what to drop. Min speaks like this. She is saying gendarme all the time. Alright, let's get our interfacing going. I think it is just the gloves. Oh, we could try dancing. Yeah. +2. Eh, whatever. Putting it in the jacket. Good morning, Papado Games. Also, that's good morning, Eric, though. Alright. Telling back, he may have been gay in the past life. He's gay currently. Go. Alright. We miss it, we miss it.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
Oh no, that's super, like, low.
You close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form.
One
to
off.
bring strange music into life. For now, such ferocity of motion is beyond you.
But just imagine them.
Puts a grin on your face. Salvation.
Goodbye, officer.
Well. Not empathy or perception. There. Save scum. No. I give an egg the Dorgun Mega Mix. I don't think he's gonna like it.
Good morning. Yeah. Tape. Yeah. All right. No. No. This is gonna make people scared.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Keep the love in the house. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to find a radio still. Yeah, I'd assume the tape would add something to it.
Wait. Take a longer look at yourself and how you're reflected in that slick chemical rainbow. What do you see? Metaphor. It's always metaphor.
Check what it's saying.
This is more important than you. That's the blood of industry you see before you. The runoff from Coal City, further down the coast. The engines of fortune once roared here. Great wealth poured into Revachol, the Delta, as did smoke, waste, sickness, life. The engines stopped. The West Revacholian industrial settled after the war. Now, extinguished coke furnaces dot the landscape, a landscape despoiled by industry.
Good morning, Fluffy 4K. Good night, Fluffy 4K. Dan Rather attacking Kenny from South Park with a ham radio.
Filth.
Sure.
This needs environmental action now. Perhaps you could dedicate your life to cleaning it up, but you're a cop. You must concern yourself with different messes. Even so, it's pretty to think.
Okay, thanks. Weird. Oh yeah, I still have to
It's
do
getting
that.
cold. This late in the...
Good night, officer.
The bed is comforting. The place feels almost like home now. Quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
Surely the
It's
thing doesn't happen today.
Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea until they're suddenly light.
This respite, you've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember. Now you haven't. You've just been.
Sounds like a Disney villain.
No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But
Oh,
what's
wow.
this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.
Thanks, Volition. Really needed that. Those skill points. I forgot where the other radios that we could get were. I haven't read all the books either. Alright. What could possibly go wrong?
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
His neck muscles tense up. The veins on his neck bulge. It just has to be said, that was not a convincing line.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. The man's breathing steadies. It's hard to do that when you want to beat a man into a pulp instead.
Hell no.
His neck.
Hold on.
Just has
Nah,
to be
let's
said.
press him a little.
That was not a convincing line.
Fucking fuck.
Huh.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, cracking somewhere.
Oh.
Earpiece. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's hard to do that when you want to.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Actually, I think we should maybe even get going now.
He clearly does not think poking the hornet's nest is a wise plan anymore.
I want to check out the building. Oh, there's money there. Fuck. How was it skip though? It's funny. Couldn't be Measurehead, no. We didn't bump up interfacing, did we? No. Ah, shit. We could do that.
Rusting control. The crane does not return to its original position. No screech of metal when you push the button. The crane does not return to...
Oh no. Oh, beans. I mean, it's fully coherent. Oh yeah. That's it. Oh shit, whatever. Where am I gonna get a working transceiver? That one was too expensive.
Make way for the...
No.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
I was born right now. Yeah, you know what?
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's E-L-L-I-S K-O-R-T-E-N-A-I-R. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, 09. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and he was assigned to a foster family at 2.
Give yourself 6 in each stat. Now you gotta give yourself like 50 in each stat.
According to Klasia, Lele said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine.
You're Zorkin, you're Zoing too.
And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
None, officer. Sorry.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
The name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
Yeah.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the
Stop
inquiry was
jerking
helpful
it.
to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? 57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a...
Yeah, right. Surely this is a good idea. Well, now I've got a name. Surely I can talk to him better.
Right to work! Right to work! Sure.
I guess not. Hoping to get XP from doing that. Well, now what? I could interfacing to get that tape? Oh, what? Just like have the boombox out? No way that works. What do you mean the tape question mark? I'm trying to think of how to get the radio transmitter.
Right to work!
No. I mean, I can buy the one for like $1 trillion. Oh yeah, it's really an interfacing check over here. If it is, I'll put a point in. Surely that's a good idea. This one's free. Make it more like...
Tiles on the cube are...
Oh, it doesn't even give me the option to. Okay. I already talked to Suna about it, but I really don't remember the other options. I'm gonna check the lorry. Yeah.
This found the smell of cigarettes. There's something odd about the
Oh yeah, there we go.
The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be. It takes a few moments, but eventually the transceiver slides from its greased socket mount with an eminently satisfying ching. As you take the transceiver in your hands, the lieutenant bites his lower lip, apparently deep in thought.
Did he want the $120 one?
Funny, isn't it? The lady driver used this same radio to evade coalition authorities, and now you are using it to contact them directly. It's just ironic, that's all.
Where the radio used to be, there's just a rectangular shadow now. It's about the size of a small box of pasta, but much heavier. Now that you're looking at it more closely, you realize the various dials and meters make it look vaguely like a face. A distinctive triangular logo forms the nose.
Yeah, what do you mean added Shadow Lord?
That's the mark of Estaz Electronica, one of the major manufacturers of advanced radio equipment.
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation, but I have to say it still seems like a remote scenario.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls, but there's a rectangular shadow where the radio used to be, and something strange about the passenger seat. The pull-out toolbox lies hidden under the driver's seat. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Pasta box Glopino. only advanced. I kind of assumed the $120 one might give me a better check. No, whatever. Oh my god, Harry, please pathfind your way over there. I'm gonna play 400 hours of FF14 to experience a shittier version of the FF11 stuff you're experiencing right now. Badass. Wait, that one's the best? What the fuck? Weird.
The speakers below.
Super cool! Now the premium lifestyle is yours, officer.
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an almost mystical energy.
The junk is yours, officer. Happy listening! Try not to hurt your ears with that Samaran garbage. You keep coming back! That's good, officer! Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that economy.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
Gotta prepare for
that would have helped.
Right? Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco. Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought. We've got to keep the flow of goods moving.
Gotta prepare for springtime.
Is this
What
really
do you
the
mean?
economy we want to leave to our children? That's the spirit. We've all got to do our part. Your part is to open the box and buy some clothes.
Who hates summer?
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
I don't really need electrochemistry. More Inland Empire would be kind of funny, but like perception. Well, there we go. I mean, I could do it. Put one in interfacing. You know what? Not anything I want. Too fast for facts. That's disgusting. That is our only interfacing bonus, isn't it? Yeah.
The gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles looked like an immaculate
Fuck
leopard.
off.
The magnetic tape twists and you just can't get it.
Maybe having like another tool on the other hand would have helped. Whatever. Gonna miss the tribunal.
It's full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Horizon's the whole private server, right? What do you mean 75 era? Yeah, like the official FF11 servers have like a bunch of like single player mechanics, I guess. I don't want to talk to these little shits. Fuck them. Yeah, you summon your NPCs and you just play the game with NPCs. Sounds badass.
Yes, what is it? Ah, very good. Let's see what you have. Interesting. An Esterhaus EH4. Heavily customized. This is an advanced model, highly capable. I'll need to replace the frequency dial, but it should certainly work for our purposes.
She's impressed by your resourcefulness as much as by the equipment itself.
I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. There won't be any second chances, any do-overs. You understand? So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now. Ah, yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned power source down by the edge of the bay.
It's obvious. She's referring to your half-sunken Caprice 40.
Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery. Then you already know that the carriage itself is irreparable, but the rear-mounted engine seems to be in fine working order. My intention is to run a power cable from the engine up to the antenna. It won't last forever, but it should give us enough time to establish a connection with Coalition warship Archer.
Huh. Necromancer stuff and launch Epic Quest and solo. Yeah. Maybe I will boot up FF11 at some point.
That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense and difficult process. Once we begin, there can be no interruptions.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common ammonia works just fine.
Psst. It's the alcohol in the ammonia that's doing the real work. Kinda like with you.
Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep legal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist. I don't take them because they make me nervous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge. That's fine. Return to me when you're ready to go.
Alright. I'm sure I'll need savoir-faire. Maybe physical instrument more than anything else. Maybe reaction speed too. I don't think I need the perception as much. Visual count. I don't think Esprit de Corps is gonna help too much. Yeah, but that thing sucks. Maybe hand-eye coordination. It's a badass outfit. The encyclopedia bonus is nice. Using your free time more productively. You're closer to 30 than 20. I mean, yeah. As long as you're having fun. Make friends in MMOs. Once you're like 30, it'll be harder, I guess. I don't know. Huh. I think I have to, like, climb. What do our stats look like? Minus infinite authority, some volition. I would like a little bit more encyclopedia, to be honest. I'll play if you carry me. Where? Well, 6 encyclopedia ought to be good enough. Fuck it.
What is it?
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Do I have alcohol? Right, sure.
What is it? Very good. If you'll help me with some of this equipment, then.
Looks edible.
Back across the water lab. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer, and if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
I was hoping physical instrument would chime and say, like, badass. Hey, check this out. Look at this, Jack. You're on at the general hours. That sounds normal. Whoa. Funny. Little boots, boys.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
We're ready to try, at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice. You will need
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
Request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready? Then it will be exactly like every other moment of every other day. I ask again, are you ready? Good. Beginning transmission.
Autism 6. Love you, bro. Jack? What is it? The Windows logo.
A soft rustling between your ears, a winterscape with fast falling snow. Every light switch, every motor carriage, every doorbell, tea kettle, and radio in Martinez, all mingled with electrical interference caused by scattered thunderstorms over Ozone.
Officer, are you in order? We're waiting for you to start. We don't have time for indecision. Just say whatever first comes to mind.
Tequila sunset would be kind of cool.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines. The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. Nervous for who, though, you cannot say.
Try again, officer.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Die kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Bredefort schicken. Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Grad zurückgekommen ist.
Aus Grad?
Die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
It's very likely, based on what we've recently learned. Give me a moment while I attempt to narrow the receiving mode. In the meantime, you must keep trying.
Thank you, horseback antenna.
Again?
It's cold now.
A slight frisson at the point where your neck meets your spine. Something about the lieutenant's words directed at you, but not you.
Mention what? I didn't say anything, Detective.
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
Oh.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
Yes.
Fascinating.
A particularly eerie specimen, but still just a harmless piece of the past returning to surface.
Right. I just wish I could remember what I was talking about.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Dubois, please acknowledge. Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Where's she partner? Please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong. I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult. We must consider several variables. Local entroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Fortunately, we have a more than adequate transceiver, so I do not believe it is causing any problems. And we're also unlikely to change our local entroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections. I did not expect simply locating the we must fortunate and we're also you need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
But you don't have the technical expertise.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Come on, son. This isn't anything but a common high bar. Just get a solid overhand grip and hoist yourself up. Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
That's true, but I can't leave my station, so it will have to be you. Then you might break your neck.
Alright. Alcoy Fontaine is dead. I remember when Corpse played through this, this part crashed. It like froze more than once. Fascinating. Good luck, Harry. Yeah, that's what you had for, yeah, that someone has been maintaining it, but
your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. Keep it together, champ. You've got this.
Harry's no slouch. Well, I mean, kinda, but like...
And before you know it, you're safely perched atop the monument.
Yes, you're a natural gymnast, detective. Now, would you like to do what you got up there to do?
The connection itself
nice.
is more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter, it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years. The programmer mentioned ammonia. But anything alcoholic should dissolve the oils, creating a cleaner and clearer connection. It takes a few moments, but the alcohol gradually begins to break down the oils surrounding the copper wiring.
Maybe I should have brought more.
Is this really the time, Detective?
It's all right, Lieutenant. He's simply cleaning the connections.
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach the cable.
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation.
Unser einziges Kind. Kann auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen. Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the worst signal and eliminate the post-talk. And if you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse. What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hands. I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back. You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider. The sky is grey and
I feel like looking down would give me a minus.
The raindrops seem to fall more slowly from this angle. Through the scrim, you can just make out the shadow of Coalition warship Archer a few kilometers to the east. A few of the idle lorry drivers and
heavy breasts
gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging. She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Not nothing to do but go for it. Oh, beans.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling.
Damn.
What are you doing? The connection is even worse now. This is extremely unprofessional. But you didn't. You made things worse.
Thanks, Sona.
She's right. This was your responsibility.
Damn it. I'm going to push the power supply. I doubt it will last more than a few minutes, so you'd better make them count.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting, mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen.
Yeah, I was thinking the holding up the thing yourself.
Please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
I'll hold on to the endurance.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then...
Oh yeah, there we go.
Try it now.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is the best we can do. I suggest you get to your business quickly. I doubt I'll be able to maintain even this connection very long.
There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request? We can assure you, it is coming as soon as possible. Oh, most likely. Though, of course, it depends on the contingency. You must understand,
The moral intern is responsible for ensuring the continuance and flourishing of mankind for the next 3,000 years. The planning division must account for a great many possible outcomes and chance events.
Check. What's that?
Fortunately, we have contingency spreads to help guide our decision-making. Of course, there is no one spread that can reasonably account for all these possible events. But at least, we're able to prepare for the most likely eventualities. It's not really our area of expertise, but we can try to explain. Picture a smooth hill made from fresh dirt. Now, if you stand atop this hill and pour a glass of water over it, what will happen? Precisamente. We know only that it will run down, but not what course it will take. If we place a rock in the water's path, will it divert to the left or to the right? We cannot say, but we may predict which way it might run in either event. That is the essence of the idea. You might also imagine these spreads as a kind of tree, with every juncture representing a different event, and every branch representing a different timeline. Not exactly. No one can know the future. But with contingency spreads, it is possible to predict what the future realities might reasonably look like. But we shouldn't overstate their importance. They are simply one of many tools used by the moral intern to set policy. That's impossible to say. It may be that Revachol has a great role to play, or no role at all. That is the nature of contingency.
But didn't the Wild Pines representative say that Revachol would resolve history?
You must understand, when we speak of contingency spreads, we are talking about the most fantastically complex data visualization human beings are capable of producing, with thousands of events, from elections and wars to natural disaster or scientific miracles, and millions of possible outcomes. It may be the case that, under certain scenarios, Revachol is vitally important, as it was during the collision landings in 08. It may also be the case, in many other equally plausible scenarios, that Revachol is simply another once great city, like countless others throughout history.
I hate the moral intent so fucking much.
Perhaps not. The world is full of great cities that have resolved the questions of their time. La Cherte, Bradford, our own home of Advesterashit.
All major cities in EPIS-aligned nations. You can't help but notice.
It's even possible the cities that will resolve the questions of the future have not been founded yet. For this reason, responsibility for developing contingency spreads is only assigned to highly trained analysts working with advanced radio computers and a steady supply of drones. Of course, while the content of individual contingency spreads is deeply classified, many degrees beyond our access, everything we have heard from the Provisional Commission indicates that the transition is proceeding according to the appropriate timetable. Well, not yet. Right now, it's more like a simple seed, buried out of sight. The first phase of democratization. Soon, the people of Revachol will vote for slates of candidates who will make up the Transitional Advisory Council that will oversee the second phase of democratization. In most cases, the Provisional Council selects them from a cross-section of the local population to ensure the slates actually reflect the people they represent. Of course, such a situation is not ideal. We would all prefer for Revacholians to nominate the representatives directly. But that is why it's a transitional council. The council is modeled after similar bodies developed in a number of transitional democracies. Its role is to devise and shape the future institutions of Revacholian democracy, according to local conditions.
Local conditions, in this case, referring to incompetence, graft, and violence.
Once elected, council members will even have the opportunity to join one of several officially sanctioned political wings, depending on their ideological beliefs and policy preferences.
I see.
A very important question. The wings are carefully selected to represent a wide spectrum of political thought. Typically, there's a liberal technocratic wing, a social democratic wing, and even a conservative populist wing. You wouldn't believe some of the ideas they express, but a vibrant and free political culture requires all perspective be given voice. even those many may find objectionable. Our best theoreticians believe that 3 to 5 phases are appropriate for states that lack strong democratic traditions, which would certainly apply to Ravachol. But we must stress that real democracy is an ongoing process and not simply an outcome. It must be cultivated and preserved if it is to endure.
I'm not joking, officer. I'll only be able to hold the signal open for a few more moments. What you came here to ask it now.
Is everything alright? Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the Liaison for Public Affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
She's got to be jerking your chain, right? You can't wait that long.
Mystery of prank calls.
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address request with the Liaison for Public Affairs. They typically respond within a few weeks. We're afraid that is quite impossible, Lieutenant Dubois. We cannot transfer you to the committee because we are not entrusted with that responsibility. We are simply the second signaler. We're here, Lieutenant. Though we have to say, this is all quite out of sequence.
This line of argument is quite pointless.
Alright.
Abandon it.
What part of
Yeah.
to reach the committee doesn't she understand? Time to lay it all out.
Beans.
We will hear your request, Lieutenant Dubois. Although we must inform you that the committee does not typically intervene in personal matters.
That's only because they haven't heard about your problems yet.
So, you're experiencing acute memory loss.
Well, shit.
We don't see how this is the committee's business.
Good God, here we go.
What? Oh, shit.
We're afraid we don't understand at all. What does this something have to do with your lost memory? We are sorry to hear of your loss, but personal tragedy is quite beyond the purview of community responsibility. Now, please excuse us while we update the receiving frequency. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3...
She can't treat you that way. Let her know what you really think of her.
I spent so long not listening to Half-Light. I think now's the time to listen to Half-Light. Yeah, nice boy. It's okay. You can say it. Just this one.
And the line goes quiet. She must have cleared the connection a few seconds early.
Yeah, we gotta come back.
The lieutenant slowly removes his headset and turns to you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
There's a damp cold running up the insides of your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the programmer have begun disconnecting a few cables. There's really no point. You're beginning to feel like the little child who refuses to come down off the carousel.
Good. Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What was I trying to do there? I don't know.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
We did it though. Sure. Road hurts. Damn.
Well, this was an interesting collaboration. Really? I do not think we were all that successful. But maybe the RCM has a different definition of success. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares.
Buddy is purging everything. Oh, get well soon, yeah.
Excuse me? I have to get back to my own work.
Okay, wanna talk about what just happened there?
Yes? What about me? No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow. The eyebrow is exercising psionic control over you. It's like you're locked down.
Something the matter, detective?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet in his hands.
Get more on throat infection.
Relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
Good. Let's...
Well, that's about it. I'm gonna get my cool outfit back on. 2 major failures in a row. Yeah, I don't see any headphones. It's badass. -1 encyclopedia. No. I think we'll take the perception instead. Only 3 Inland Empire.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable.
I love the pry bar. The double pry bar. Yeah, Sunrise Parabellum's a good bit, I think.
Yes, what is it?
+2 Inland Empire. That's pretty neat, actually. I might go for it. 7 encyclopedia. Could be better. Could redo that payphone check. The last bit. Always be shooting. Badass. Always be chewing, snacking. So true. So many sad failed checks. No, nothing to do but give it a go.
Already a cold touch of plastic. It's unclear whether you act sure. Nothing tricky about.
I really used it all up at the start. Alright. Well. Oh yeah, let me check real quick.
The mother of humanism stands above. Why? That does seem, I don't know, only a strange... The mother of
No. 80 plus? It's 50-50, come on. You either you get it or you don't. Really nothing more than that. I don't think my Kim stat is as high as I'd like it to be this playthrough. Ought to be good enough.
Behind the pipe, the maintenance door. The metal doors are heavy, and the flaking rust hurts.
Now I get a good roll. Fuck.
But, together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Good work. Shall we?
All right. A little bit more XP. Thanks. I didn't even get a message for that one. I know that if you go up the ladder, there's some really funny dialogue about Mr. Harry the Boar teleporting up, and that's because they ran out of budget to animate him climbing up a fucking ladder. So just like, oh yeah, you know, make the screen fade black, and then he arrives at the top.
This isn't just glass. These are computation components. Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system. The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
Now we get another point.
So it is. I think it is used to form a single system, slotted in the wall. The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You will be disappointed.
All you will find here is pain.
Ooh. I love suit jackets. Take off your suit and jacket. Ah. Revolutionary hat. Yeah, sure.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains stick into the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Yes. Looks like some latter-day radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
Good morning, Surreal.
I think the purpose of this bunker
Video
was to
games.
produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Huh. Fun. Ah, there we go. The drummer.
You feel
Hardly even know her?
like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. No, but you are the sensitive one.
It's not a quib. The situation is dangerous.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
I still don't think that was a good idea. But yes, our affairs with the Wild Pines are in order, since she isn't in Martinez anymore.
Someone's been a very busy boy. Good on you.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Yahoo! Oh, money. My favorite. Composure and shivers. Fascinating. That's badass. I think I went composure rather than savoir-faire. Sure.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Huh.
Really now? Check this out.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain.
Tim, help me.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is experiencing is worse than your own. He's trying to resist, but there's no way of knowing when he will recover.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing, it's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world.
You're simply too physically powerful to be affected by this. Show them what for.
At the upper
I hope.
is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Thanks, Ken.
Oh yeah. Way beyond. No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Badass. That's a straight up banger. Do they have Japanese in this game?
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops, and of herself merely as prey.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
I kind of want the audio play each time it does this.
You're looking for a deal on mattress.
Fuck you, Baltimore. If you're looking for a speed freak.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else.
She's killing you with college radio.
But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. And those guys liked me, I know it. But this is what happens to people whom people like.
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
I opened them up.
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
What shit? I told you I didn't do it. Sounds pretty simple to me.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
You like to hang on the rooftop.
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Claudia. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival.
I'm going noodles. In the thick of it versus the average medieval peasant. Wait, what?
Yes, I'm sure. In fact, the shot couldn't have possibly come from the roof. Otherwise, we would have heard it downstairs.
No one mentioned hearing any shots. And a rifle like the one used would have been loud. She's right. I don't think the shot came from the roof.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. You think I was envious of his conquests? No. Pussy's not a problem for me. And definitely not a reason to off someone.
See her confident gaze, her toned arms. Yeah, she wouldn't have had much trouble in the intimacy department.
I wish Physical Instrument was here to chime in.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count.
Confident gaze.
They're paid well for what they do. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate it, okay?
I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me. Yeah, and I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. They always do. I've driven a lot of long haul and chugged a lot of beer, man. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time. Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain.
I have to say the pinball bit.
No. Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardenne. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city.
Good morning, diabetic cat.
Why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries. Not murder mysteries either, if that's what you're thinking.
She looks you in the eye, impassively, making it clear that she's not planning to comment on the matter any further.
What about elevators?
What the fuck do elevators have to do with anything? Not particularly.
Why not?
Why are you so hung up on elevators?
That's a pretty good question, actually. She clearly doesn't know anything about the secret passage.
I'm not really into old shit for old shit's sake.
God damn it!
So you know she's not an antiques enthusiast. Not my jurisdiction, man. But it also doesn't sound like she used that secret route at all.
Don't know it, but also, the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all heard it downstairs.
I thought she was looking in.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
I considered her a good friend, yeah.
You a girl like her.
Wow. Pissing, pinball, and now peeping. I'm just not following your insinuations, detective. Look, I'm not aware of any hole in the wall. And if I had been, I would have told her to get it sealed. That's what friends do. Nope. Look, she has an effect on people. That je ne sais quoi that makes it impossible not to look at her when she walks into the room, and very difficult to look away. But travel enough and you realize...
You like trash?
For the same reason that she's everyone's type as an object of desire, she's not irreplaceable.
Wrong. That kind of pussy is never replaceable.
Oh, so that's where you were going with this. That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts we didn't want to catch up with us, and we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip?
What if this did play the entire B movie into your brain?
The lieutenant watches her expectantly, occasionally shaking from the pain.
Okay, fine. I was into her. Clausy was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it.
Clausia only said they maybe kissed. Someone is lying here. She touched that radiant beauty, that silver wellspring of desire.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not about to go into details for you to jerk off to later.
Seriously, just move on.
Cringe from the head-splitting torment.
She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leading me on.
It's against the Geneva Convention. What, girls liking other girls? Yeah, I think so.
Story, but thought, fine, I'll take it and move on.
No ill will there. It wasn't a problem for her.
Yeah, one time when we'd both been drinking, I said some heated things about how dangerous her patterns with men were. I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're living in a DeLorean tragedy.
By the way, DeLorean tragedies are still held in high regard for innovation in language and motifs. They are also known for overwrought emotions leading to catastrophic outcomes.
Thank you, Encyclopedia. Are you a girl like her?
What the hell, man? Yeah, why not? I've gotten worse. Yeah, the girl seemed terrified.
Huh.
The merc was beyond caring what happened to his mortal coil. It was a no-brainer. Go ahead. It's your body.
And mine too, he thinks. But keep on. This must be done.
And? The gun store. Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal. Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No. A knocked-away 80 front loader. Two-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't it.
Never really got into weapons trafficking. Especially not old weapons. They break too often, and you don't want unhappy customers among gun collectors. Yeah, evidence. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her.
Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking?
Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her.
I don't think that doesn't sound very helpful.
That's your prerogative. Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the Union.
The Mr. Krabs device to extract the B-movie from your mind. And what, get it, like, blasted back in after? Maybe that's what it's doing. It's like, alternating current. Every millisecond, it's removing and reinserting the B-movie thousands of times.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for. You might be able to find this out later.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
There's a sinister note in her voice. Even with the gun and the compressor, she's afraid of you.
Yeah? Where? I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
She didn't rat you out either.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back. Not anymore, no. This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Clausia's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
The AI overlord when I beam 10 terabytes of pornography into its databanks to defeat it.
Clausia didn't want to turn the lamp on. She was afraid of another shot. She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
This woman has seen people OD. Glacia wasn't quite there yet, so why worry?
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Oh.
She looks shaken. She wasn't surprised to be ratted out, but framed.
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone.
And completing Remy Legato from the video games.
She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want the guilt.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
Her grip on the gun is tight, her arms toned, her posture solid. Martinez lost a valuable defender.
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
That strange, distant fear is getting close now. It's a fear of yourself.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Oh yes, they do. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with a disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to La Puta Madre.
Am I?
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the tape. Criminals make up bogeyman stories about cops all the time. I don't know. Sounds pretty convincing to me.
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both.
Do I go with the I'm crazy and lost my memory bit, which is true?
Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
A man in a white suit walks through a garden coaxed from soil that had once been covered in asphalt. The city block closed off from the rest of the city by dark buildings. Rows and rows of poppies, most of which have lost their pink bloom, flank his steps. The man looks around, then up at the sky, sighs. Taking out a knife, he crouches at the end of one flower bed. He scores a seapod, very gently. Milky sap begins to ooze out. The pain comes over you again.
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
Wait, one thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
Yeah, you had your death squad with you.
Wait, what?
What happened to them anyway? Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had 2 guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either. One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. All were carrying. That sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Literally. Satellite Officer Vitmere looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We can either take a room here in the whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstam. He can give us a ride.
Well, this has been a great talk, really. But I think I'm going to hit the road now. What bunker?
Want me to tie it up?
Anything about it? No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
You've got to act soon. This is getting bad. Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer.
All right.
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side.
Oh, the 97%, it's the double sixes. Kill yourself now.
But
All good, officer. Be careful.
she looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
She's
I actually succeeded.
She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options. You know. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Gratitude, doubt. She's still ready to go. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Good call.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated.
She didn't do it.
Her tent. We should check it out.
Huh.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out. The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled-up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes.
Ooh, flashlight.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook. You pocket the worn brown leather journal. A trusted friend left behind.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Thanks, Kim. Schneller.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket. It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from
Thank you, Encyclopedia.
among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape. Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means.
Oh, damn.
These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it. That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th. Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake. You didn't follow through. You should have shot her in the head.
Thank you, Half-Light.
The thought steadies your nerves. The journal stops shaking in your hand. Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. The most recent entry is from today. It reads, "Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning."
It looks like she might have been framed?
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than we does. Especially if she has problems with the Madre.
Yeah, thank you for the raid, Peace Blade. There we go. Gloomhaven. I really gotta get around to checking out Gloomhaven. So what are those big old nasty board games, right? That's the one I'm thinking of, right? Big fan of Kingdom Death. I love having a million pieces of plastic. Okay, good. Yeah, it is Gloomhaven. I'm not crazy. Thought there was something with a similar name. I know Frosthaven happened too. Oh yeah, I guess the digital version would make things a lot easier. Here's looking forward to Kingdom Death getting a Kingdom Death Sim getting a good automation update on Black Friday. Anyways, good morning, Peaceblade. Good morning, Flying Paprika. Welcome to Disco Elysium. Huge spoilers.
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
Huh.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so trusting.
Classy was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or...
Yeah.
Maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on her. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get
pretty sure we're super close to the end of the game now. I hate to do this immediately after getting raided, but I think the correct course of action is save this for the next bit. Yippee. There's no way there's like 8 minutes of stuff left. I gotta go to the bathroom, boot up Krita, and learn how to draw again. Yippee. Oh, that's awful. Early doodles. There's gonna be like like an hour, 2 hours of stuff left? I don't know how much stuff is left. I haven't actually played through Disco Elysium. More Disco next Tuesday. Yippee. There's like 4 hours left. Ah, well, that's perfect. Yippee. Anyways, oh yeah, 10 out of 10 video game. It is 100% made by board game nerds. Alright, well, I'll be right back with the Krita opened and everything. I gotta go to the bathroom. All that fun stuff. Get some more water. Yahoo.